Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. We actually have a lot of promotional material today. It really released a lot. We actually have I guess a statement or a quote or whatever from the showrunner, David Zabel, and we also have some confirmation in a video released by AMC that they are in fact filming The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3. So I want to talk about that and some other stuff here. So before any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I apologize, the video is a little bit late today. I just had to deal with a lot of stuff, a lot of really stressful personal stuff, and it just feels like it never ends. It really does feel like it never ends, and at this point, I am honestly just laughing. I'm like, all right, bring it on. I'm not scared anymore. I don't care. So, yeah, so I'm going to deal with it, and I'm just going to be, awesome about it, and I don't care. I'm just going to keep moving forward and focusing on this show here because I'm really, really excited about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 2 and a lot of what came out today. So make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. In 2 more days, it will be exactly a month until the premiere of Daryl Dixon Season 2. And so I'm expecting a trailer in some way to be promoted then. In terms of like the talk about Season 3, I've seen some of these comments here. A lot of people are talking about this. Like, they're talking about Season 3 and all of that, and it's kind of insane because they are, like we haven't even watched Season 2 yet. I think what it is that they're talking about Season 3 because of filming. And yes, you do see Daryl and Carol there. I do understand that. Like, seeing them, you're like, okay, well, both of them survive. But I think it's pretty obvious if you're just looking at the show, how many seasons is the show going to be? I mean, for sure, it's going to be 4 seasons. Like, at a minimum, we know that. They've already talked about that. Season 4 isn't official. They probably won't even officially confirm that till like next year, honestly, around Comic-Con, around the time that they're about to start filming Season 4. And it'll probably be the same thing as what they did this year, right? So this show's going to go on for quite some time. And like, was Daryl expected to die? No, like in the very final season of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, it would be weird if Daryl wasn't there. So like Daryl's going to make it to the very last season. Now in terms of Carol, could she die at some point? Yeah, like maybe you say there's like 6 to 8 seasons. Maybe she dies in the very like second last season or something. I guess that is possible, but I also don't see it. Like again, these characters just, reunited, or they're going to be reuniting here in Season 2. So it just makes sense. I think it is a lot more obvious here. And it's possible that next year when they go and film Season 4, that maybe they push it off a little bit because they want people to watch Season 3, right? So I could see that as well. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not entirely sure with all of this here, but I will say in terms of how they've handled filming, things have overall been okay. They've kept spoilers away and all of that, though it seems like since they've started filming in Spain, I'm actually seeing quite a bit. So I don't know if there's just that many fans there and all that, which I'm assuming so, right? Like honestly, I'm seeing a lot of people surrounding the sets, and every time they leave, they're signing a bunch of stuff. So it's honestly really crazy. It's exactly like the old days of The Walking Dead where you just had a lot of people always there. So kind of insane. And honestly, it's probably really amazing for them as well, right? Like they're probably very happy with all of that. And so I wanted to talk about what The Walking Dead actually posted here. And what they posted was this scene right here of Daryl and Carol. And this is from Season 3. This is from them filming Season 3 in Spain. And first of all, I'm just going to point this out. And again, I wasn't even going to talk about this. I saw this in the last couple of days, but I was like, I'm not going to mention it because it's spoilery. But The Walking Dead did post this, so now I will talk about it. So that's sort of my rule when it comes to that. I won't talk about leaked set photos, this and that, but if it's like officially released or if there's an article written about it kind of thing, then I'm like, all right, well, I'll talk about it in some sense. And yeah, we see Daryl and Carol here, and they're confirming that they are starting to film for Season 3 here in Spain. And the hashtag is, well, it says Season 3 of the hashtag The Walking Dead Carol is now in production. So what would be funny is if they actually did call Season 3 that. I think that would upset a lot of people, but I mean, honestly, that almost makes way more sense than The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Like, you have Daryl and Carol there calling it The Walking Dead Carol. I mean, the thing is, though, is that's getting into the whole like shipping thing and all of that. So it's like, don't go there with any of that. Like it's fine for like hashtags and stuff to promote the show, but calling the show that is just like, it's a little bit too much, I think. But it's so cool to see Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride here. They're so happy. Everything's going really good. And they're just pumping up Season 3. That they're filming Season 3 right now. They're going to be here for quite some time, like many, many months here, filming Season 3, probably for the rest of the year here, all the way up until most likely Thanksgiving, right? Like US Thanksgiving. So yeah, what's very cool though, obviously, because they are filming Season 3, that we see that they have the same outfits on. And I keep pointing this out, and I don't know if people are making fun of me for always pointing this out, but the reason why this is really important is because that was one of my criticisms of the last seasons of The Walking Dead, was that it just felt like every character had like this really cool outfit, and it was just like, it made no sense, because in the zombie apocalypse, like, you're not really thinking about, oh, I'm going to change this outfit or this and that. Maybe if you're wearing a jacket and it's covered in rain, like a lot of rain and whatever, or like zombie guts and stuff, you're like, oh, I just gotta get this off me. Oh, cool, that there's this jacket. Or maybe you just find a jacket that you really like and you know, you'll just change. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It's just that it hasn't really been the case in the last however many years in that show. It was just like, okay, this character has this really cool look now, right? And it was always like, I want to know more of the story of like how they found that, because that was always the case in the very first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead. Like, whenever a character would, like, you know, have an outfit change, you would see the moments that they found those clothes, or it just, like, it made sense. Like, oh, they got to the prison arc, there were some clothes around, so obviously the characters would change or whatever, right? Like, it just, if you're following the rules of survival in the zombie apocalypse, like, that's sort of how it is, right? Like, changing your clothes is, like, the last thing on your mind. And so, seeing this here for season 3, the fact that Daryl and Carol have these same outfits on, that's incredible to me, because that means that, I mean, they're just constantly on the run, or I don't know what's going on here in the story and why they're in Spain, but they're not focused on things like that. Like, oh, I'm going to change my jacket or this and that. You know what I mean? Like, they're just sort of focused on, okay, we just got to keep going straight and keep heading in this direction, and then eventually we'll get there, this and that. Like, they're just so mission focused. And so that's why I focus on those small details there, because I think it would be kind of ridiculous if, like, every single season their outfits changed, like, so dramatically, and it was like, wait, what? But they did tease that season 3 is starting here, and Melissa McBride and Norman Reedus look so happy, and obviously I am very happy. I watched this so much. I also watched something that they posted on The Walking Dead's or AMC's The Walking Dead. So they've been promoting this show a lot. They actually have this thing called Burning Questions. It's this sort of thing that they post every other day or whatever, and I guess the question that they were asked was, actually, I don't remember the question. They were just singing, so I was just focused on that. I was honestly just focused on Daryl and Carol singing, and it was just so cool. Like, Norman Reedus was singing, and then, I think they were asked about something in terms of a favorite song or whatever, and so Carol mentioned something like Crazy or something like that, and so Norman Reedus starts to sing, you know, Crazy for You and all of that, and yeah, they were laughing. It was just, honestly, seeing the cast together like this reminds me of the old days, and I think that's why having Daryl and Carol together again for this season is going to be absolutely incredible. I also really wanted to get into this one article here from Collider, in which it's basically talking about the same thing here, but we do have, like, this, I guess, press release, or it's a statement anyways that came from Collider, I believe. I'm not sure where this statement actually came from, but it's from showrunner David Zabel, and this is what he had to say on the whole situation here. As we look forward to the show's return for season 2, we're excited to be back on set with Norman, Melissa, and this great cast, alongside a fantastic local crew in Spain, whose expertise and creative vision are pivotal in bringing these landscapes to life and adding a new culturally rich dimension to the series. We're excited for fans to witness the reunion of these two beloved characters in season 2 and to continue crafting the next chapter in the Carol journey here in Spain. And so that's the thing about this, is that I will say, I don't know if they are in Spain. Like, they're filming in Spain, but is the show going to be set in Spain is what I'm wondering, because yes, they are filming there. But if you notice a lot of their words, like, they're going to continue crafting the next chapter of this story here, or I guess of the Carol journey here in Spain. So they're going to be crafting the story in Spain, but will the story be set in Spain? And that's what I'm curious about, just because I've seen some stuff that seems to kind of hint at a different location, but I also don't really know, so I'm just, I won't talk about that too much. But this is a synopsis that we do actually have here for season 3, and again, I'm getting this from Collider. It's the same article, so I'll leave a link down below to this article, but it says that season 3 follows Daryl Dixon and Carol Pelletier as they continue their journey to somehow return home and to the ones they love. As they struggle to find their way back, the path takes them farther astray, leading them through distant lands with ever-changing and unfamiliar conditions as they witness the various effects of the Walker apocalypse. So stuff's gonna go down here in season 2 that's gonna not allow them to get home. That's pretty much it. I mean, obviously, we know that has to happen because this show's not ending in season 2. They're filming season 3, 4, so, for the next couple of years, a bunch of stuff's going to happen that's going to prevent them from being able to come home. But I guess the one thing that we know now is that Daryl and Carol do decide to come back, so they leave the nest, and that could be, I mean, maybe we don't see Isabel, Laurent, and other characters, or maybe they die in season 2. Again, it doesn't mean that Daryl and Carol are just going to be the only characters left from season 2. There's probably going to be other characters with them. Maybe some characters they have to say goodbye to. But yeah, I think that that's really the only spoiler from all of this, basically, is that we know that their decision is to try and come back home, when it seemed like at the end of season 1, Daryl was going back but then decided to stay. So I'm like, well, obviously he changes his mind again, right? But we do see that in season 2. And also, I've watched the opening minutes of season 2, and you see that there. I apologize if this is like spoilers and whatnot, but if you have AMC Plus, you can actually watch the opening minutes right now for Daryl Dixon season 2. And in those opening minutes, Daryl is still very just like, oh, I miss home. I want to go home. Like, I don't know what to do. And I think he comes to the conclusion of like, well, like, what if you all come with me, right? Like Isabel and Laurent. Like, what if you come with me back to America? And we saw that a lot in the trailer where he's asking Laurent that. And I feel like the answer at first is going to be a no, because I think what they're trying to do is, I mean, first of all, Laurent is going to be needed at the nest, right? So something bad would have to happen to the nest, in which Laurent would have to go, and then we'll see what happens with Isabel and all of that. But if they lose the nest and the super walkers are everywhere and completely taking over everything there, like literally everything is just variant walkers now, and they're forced to go to Spain, then yeah, it makes sense that at that point they're like, you know what, France is overrun, like we can't be here anymore, we gotta go to Spain. That's why we see them in Spain. They basically just run away. Honestly, I really picture it being similar to the farm in season 2, because everything seems to be mirroring season 2 of The Walking Dead. And what happens there? They lost the farm. The walkers were just way too much. They left, and then they just found a new place, right? So I'm kind of expecting the same thing here. Like, the nest is just gonna get overrun by these super walkers, variant walkers everywhere. It's gonna be too much to handle. They're gonna lose everything, that they're just forced to flee. Some people might be connected to the nest where they can't leave. There might be other deaths, this and that, but I think that that's probably going to be what happens. And then there will be some connection, I'm sure, going into season 3 with other groups, but I think that's overall where the story is going here. But yeah, I'm excited though. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.